You open your eyes, but you cannot move, you cannot even lift a finger, and you wonder if you are really awake or still dreaming. But the ceiling above you is clear and sharp, and the darkness in the corners of your room feels heavier than usual, as if it is waiting for something to happen. You try to breathe, and you realize your chest feels crushed under a weight that is not really there. You strain and struggle, but your body will not obey your mind. And that is when the fear sets in, a kind of primal terror that tells you that you are not alone in this room. You hear it before you see it, a soft scrape like fingernails dragging along the floorboard, slow, deliberate pulling closer. With each sound your eyes dart as much as they can, but your head will not turn. You are trapped looking upward. While something drags itself into the edges of your vision, you cannot tell if it is tall or bent or crawling. But the shadow is darker than the rest of the night, and it has form that feels too solid to be imagination. Your ears start ringing a high-pitched whine like static, and beneath it, a whisper presses against your mind. It does not form words at first. It is only the breath of someone leaning far too close behind you, though you know you are lying flat, and nothing should be there. Your breath quickens, but your body does not follow. Your lungs feel stuck, as if something has climbed onto you, and is staring down into your face. There is a figure now standing at the foot of the bed, long arms that nearly scrape the ground, its head tilted unnaturally to one side. You try to close your eyes, but even that is impossible. You are forced to stare as its head twitches and jerks with movement that should not belong to anything alive. The darkness of its shape shifts like smoke, but the eyes are fixed on you, glinting like glass in the faintest trace of light. You hear another sound, this time like fabric dragging across the floor, like bare feet shuffling slowly closer. You want to scream, and in your mind you are screaming, but your throat is locked. The sound never comes. The figure leans forward, its long fingers reaching toward you, and you can feel the weight of its gaze pressing down. You blink, but it does not go away. It is still there, closer now, its hand inches from your chest. And when it touches you, the cold burns like ice, yet leaves no mark, only the pressure, only the paralysis that binds you to the bed. You remember the stories you heard once about this state, how people all over the world see the same things: the shadow man, the woman with no face, the crawling thing on the ceiling. And you realize you are part of those stories now. You are not watching a tale, you are inside one. You are the victim. And the more you listen, the deeper it goes, the harder it becomes to separate waking life from the place where these shadows walk. Your eyes flick toward the corner. And now there are more of them standing, their shapes layered over each other, some tall, some small, all frozen, yet trembling at the edges like a film reel burning in slow motion. One of them opens a mouth impossibly wide, but no sound escapes, only silence pressed so tight it roars louder than any scream you have ever heard. Your heart races so violently you think it will tear itself apart in your chest, but still, you cannot move. The figure at the bed bends down, its face lowering toward yours, closer, closer, until you see the hollowness where eyes should be only endless black, and within that black, a reflection, something that looks exactly like you lying in bed staring upward. You realize you are trapped inside a mirror of yourself, locked in a prison of flesh, and the thing is only showing you what you are to it. Helpless reflection waiting to be claimed. You try to fight the feeling, but the whisper returns, only now it has words. And they are your own voice speaking back to you, saying things you never said, saying, I am here. I have always been here. I am you. I am the silence. I am the weight you feel when you cannot breathe. And when you try to argue, the words form in your head, but come from its mouth. Instead, the air is thick. You feel as though the room is underwater, and something invisible drags itself across the ceiling above you, slow, wet movements that drip into your ears, though no liquid touches your skin. You smell something now damp and metallic, like rusted iron or old blood. The odor grows stronger with every second, and you know without doubt that if you could move your head, you would see the stains spreading along the walls, spelling out shapes you cannot understand. The figure leans closer still, until it hovers just an inch from your face. You can feel the cold radiating from it, and though it has no mouth, you feel its breath pouring into you, filling your lungs, making it harder to breathe. Your vision shakes, blurs, the room spins, though your body never moves. And in the haze you see flashes, faces you do not recognize, people screaming with mouths sewn shut, eyes rolling back, until they vanish one by one, leaving only the shadow that now breathes your breath. You are certain you will suffocate here, trapped between waking and dreaming, trapped with these shapes that know your name. And then in an instant they vanish, the room returns to its stillness, and you are left in silence except the silence is wrong, it is too heavy, too thick. And in that silence you realize the figures are not gone, they are simply hiding, waiting for the next moment when you drift into half-sleep, waiting for when you let your guard down again, your eyes ache, your chest burns, you try once more to force movement into your limbs. And finally, a finger twitches, then a hand, you suck in a breath as though you were drowning. And at last, you can move, you sit up, you convince yourself. It was only sleep paralysis, that it is over, but the corner of the room remains darker than it should be and the air colder than before, and as you listen carefully, you still hear the faint scrape of nails on the floor pulling closer again. You think the nightmare has ended, but it never does, because once you have seen them once, they know you. They do not leave, they linger at the edge of every night, waiting for you to close your eyes, waiting for you to fall into that fragile state between waking and dreaming. And when it happens again, you will not know whether you are asleep or awake, you will not know whether the hands on your chest are real or imagined, you will only know that the shadows are patient, and they are not finished with you. Even now, as you sit listening to this voice, you feel the stillness creeping into your limbs, you feel the pressure settling onto your chest, and you wonder if you can move right now, or if you have already slipped into the paralysis without noticing. Look at your hands. Are they really moving? Do you really feel them? Or is it only your mind pretending? And if you try to breathe harder, is the air flowing freely, or is it already being stolen by something leaning above you unseen? Because the truth is simple, the more you know of them, the more they know of you. Every word you hear, every image you imagine strengthens their hold. And tonight, when the lights go out, you will feel the same pressure, you will hear the same whispers, you will see the same figures gathering in the corners of your room. And you will remember this voice telling you that it was going to happen, and it will happen again and again, until the night you finally do not wake at. Also listen closely, feel the weight pressing tighter on your chest, feel the stillness crawling down your arms and legs. Realize that you cannot move as much as you thought, and that something else is already watching you from the darkness, waiting for the exact moment when you close your eyes again, waiting to take the place of your reflection, waiting to breathe your breath, waiting to claim you.